The way I look at it is like this, bro. We cut hair. We're barbers. You know what I'm saying? I use the same clippers that you use. Maybe different variations, but you know, you get the gist. You know, you got a clipper, detachable edgers, razors. We all do the same job. So why is it that I should hold myself above you based on the amount of followers that I have? You know what I'm saying? Or because I made up a certain haircut, or I made up a certain product, or whatever, a comb, or whatever the case may be. Instagram is really what made things the way that it is. I feel like it gave irrelevant people relevancy in life, to where they didn't know their own self-worth. They needed the followers to pretty much give them security on who they are, instead of them trying to figure out who they really are by themselves. They use those likes, or the followers, or the comments, or the DM messages that's like, yeah, I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? When they probably already was that before, but they just didn't have enough faith or enough confidence in themselves to find it out for themselves. So I see the egos all the time, bro. Like, I see it all the time. It doesn't, honestly, it really don't even have to be like on no, at events. It could just be like the simple thing of like sending a dude a DM message. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I tell you, I got 50-something thousand followers. I see every DM message, and if I don't respond to them, I'll follow the person and I'll like back their hair. I'll like a bunch of their haircuts just to show them like, look, I see you. You wrote me the message. I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring you. Realistically, I can't respond to every comment. I can't follow every person back. I'm not gonna see every like, and I'm not gonna be able to sit there and converse with every single DM message I have. I got a whole lot of DM messages in my box. Well, I sit there and I literally do go through them, and I'll say, all right, I can respond to this person because this is something simple. I can kind of knock it out right now, or I'll send them or tag them in a picture. Or how did you do this fade? And I'll get them like a little quick breakdown. You know what I'm saying? I try not to sit there. Sometimes I'll sit there and like really like go into detail with them, but sometimes I just can't. So if I can't do that, I'll go to their page, I'll follow them, and I'll like them back. Even to the extent of people commenting on your pictures. Some dudes read all the comments, bro. I don't care who it is, bro. I've met dudes with 1 million followers, and they sit there and people read these comments. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty impossible to respond to them, but then there's just some people who just don't, period. Like, they don't acknowledge people, period. And that's stupid, because you feel your relevancy from these people, but you're not giving these people nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? They're following you, which is boosting your ego, which is giving you confidence, and you know, you taking pride in what you do, but at the same time you're giving them nothing in return except for a haircut. I feel like I'm very personal with people. You know what I'm saying? On my page, like, people write to me. A lot of times I write back. Sometimes I can't, but the majority of times I write back. People comment on pictures. I won't necessarily tag them individually because it's a lot of comments, but I'll put hey, appreciate you, thanks for, you know, or I'll go on that person. If I see it's a new person I've never seen before, I'll go on their page and I'll follow them back. I don't care how good I fade, bro. I don't care how good my designs look or how my retro cuts may look. What I care about is my character and how people perceive me to be, what type of person they want me to be. I don't care how good your fade is. If you're an asshole, you're a jerk. That's irrelevant. I don't care about your fades anymore because I don't want to deal with you on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? I want people to feel like I can approach Bonez and I'll sit there and he'll sit there and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I want to be perceived, because that's who I am as a person. That's how I was before. Somebody come up to me and speak, I'm going to sit there. I got plenty of clients in my shop right now, young cats, college students, stuff like that. I sit there, I talk with them. I got so many deals going on right now with dudes. Hey, you give me a 3.2 GPA, bam, I'll cut your hair free for the semester. The basketball students at the school, I told them if they have their GPA at a certain level, I'll cut their hair at a discounted price. I want my character to speak louder than my face. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I deal with the ego. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see a lot is things like that, because, bro, everybody started off with one follower. You know what I'm saying? So I would comment on some dudes' pages when I was like real young in the game, and some dudes would comment back. A lot of dudes didn't. So by that happening, I always told myself when, not if, because I know the type of person I have a lot of faith in myself. I know that when I put my mind to something, I'm going to achieve it. So I told myself when I get to that level of that status, in a sense, I won't be that guy. Because I remember how it felt when I reached out to so-and-so and never got anything back. But then it's crazy because now that I'm at that status or whatever, those dudes who I reached out to who ignore me, now they want to do business with me. You know what I'm saying? But now, like, it's kind of like Mike Jones. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want to mess with me before, but now you want to mess with me now. And I always told myself I'll never be that guy. I'll always be the dude people say, hey, Bonez is a cool dude. Bonez, I could talk to Bonez. He actually responded to me. Oh, he gave me his phone number for me to hit him up. Or he FaceTimed me to show me how to do this fade. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of person I want to be. Realize, because the ego thing, it's lame, bro. I feel like it's lame because we're barbers. This is Instagram. If Instagram ended tomorrow, who would you be? Who would you be? You be the same regular dude cutting next to the guy at the barbershop who had no Instagram. You would be that regular guy again. So people need to remain focused on what's important. These followers are irrelevant if you can't get $1 from every single one of them. When people see somebody who they kind of put on or used to look down upon start to make it, a lot of dudes in the game, their egos won't allow them to work with them no more. And the way that will hurt the industry is that's hindering two great artists from working together due to the ego of one or both of them. My father always taught me to surround yourself with people that intimidate you, that people force you, that force you to grow. They don't accept anything less than perfection. If you're the smartest and richest and coolest dude in your crew, you're in the wrong crew, because you've allowed yourself to be stuck in the comfort zone, which will enable you from growing. One thing I love and I appreciate, I tell him all the time, Mark the barber, the dude gave me an opportunity to come work at his shop. And the day I walked in there and I spoke to him, I said, Mark, look, I'm not coming here to be one of your soldier barbers, bro. I'm not coming here to be a barber that worked 10, 15 years just paying rent. That's not me. What you're doing is what I'm coming here for. I'm coming here to do what you're doing. I want my own DVDs. I want my own classes. I want my own tours. I want my own seminars. I want to host battles. I want to do all of that. So if you're not able, if you're not going to be comfortable with me doing that, I'm not the guy for you. And he put me in place for me to, he introduced me to every single person that was imperative for me reaching my goals. And I feel like a lot of who I am, of where I am, and the barber game had a lot to do with him not having an ego. So you sit and you look at it. How many times could there have been a guy like me going up to somebody like Mark, and because Mark seen the potential in that person, Mark seen the potential in me, he knew I could be where I'm at right now. What if that person seen the potential in that younger barber and said, I'm not bringing this dude here because he has a possibility of taking my shine away? So what he did was, in a sense, he kind of hindered that dude's growth depending on that man's mindset. And at the same time, he probably put a hold to maybe blessings or opportunities that would have came in his life from them two working together. Mark put me on, and now if me and Mark do a class, we get bread because I'm established due to him opening up that door for me. So his humility and the type of person that he was enabled, it helped, it assisted my growth in who I am today. So when you see, that's why I always try to invest and talk to younger barbers, because I never know who they're going to be. Perfect example, bro. 2 years ago, this white boy took one of my haircuts off my page and reposted it on his page. But he didn't tag me. He was new to Instagram. He didn't know any better. So I commented like, man, bro, that's a nice haircut. I commented on my picture that was on his page, and he was like, bro, he's like, I'm sorry I didn't tag you. I'm kind of new to this. This is one of the best haircuts I've ever seen, bro. I love your work. And I kept in touch with him. You know who that white boy turned out to be? Patty Cuts. My homie. That's my boy. I kept in contact with Patty. You know what I'm saying? I look out for Patty. We talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? Opportunities come for us to work together. We gonna work together. But that could have been my opportunity right there to kind of be like, nah, nigga, don't be stealing my work. And I could have put a whole damper on that situation that could have possibly affected him in a negative way, to where he's like, man, I'm new to Instagram. If this is how these barbers are, I don't even want to be a part of this mess. You know what I'm saying? But by me not being that type of dude and sitting there and talking to him, I don't know what impact that could have had on him. You know what I'm saying? I always encourage Patty and talk to him. But look at where he's at right now. Patty got more followers than me. Killing the game. So that's how it can hinder us, is because we're like, it'll turn everybody into crabs in a bucket. It will turn Everybody into crabs in the bucket, bro. We'll sit there, we'll undercut each other. Look at different barbershops. Every barbershop got a different price and all on the same block because they're trying to undercut each other instead of working together. I feel like people's mindsets have to be changed in order for growth to come. But if you can't understand that working together will accomplish more than you working by yourself, it doesn't matter what kind of battle we do. It doesn't matter what kind of interviews we may do. It depends on the mindset of the people. The people have to change their mindsets in order for growth to happen. I talk about this all the time. The first thing they have to ask themselves is, am I in this for the appreciation of the art, or am I in this for the process of getting paid, the journey to getting the money? If you're in it for the journey to getting money, your career is not going to last long for a new barber. If you're getting into being a barber because you see the money, you see how the barbers dress, you see how we do the shows, you think about it, the hottest niggas in the communities are 9 times out of 10 the barbers. We're the most popular dudes in the community. If you're getting into barbering because of that, you're in the wrong profession. Reason being, barbering is an art first amongst all things. My father taught me, I say it all the time, if you fall in love with the art, the people will see and recognize your appreciation and your love for the art, which in return will sit them in your chair because they see that you're passionate about it, and by them sitting in your chair creates your funds. But if you fall in love with the money, if you have a bad week at work, you'll be more impaired, you'll be more likely to quit because your mindset was, I need to get this money, instead of I need to provide this service, I need to perfect this craft, I need to perfect this fade, I need to be consistent with this fade, I need this cut to look like this. But if the only thing that you're thinking about is I need to get this money, you have a bad week, you'll quit. Because you based your whole entity of being a barber on the amount of money that you make and how cool you are. But if you fall in love with the art, it will bring the people, and by the people coming, them sitting in your chair, that will create the funds. 9 times out of 10, you look at an artist, the biggest problem an artist has when they paint a painting or a canvas is how much are they going to charge? Because you can't put a price on art. You can't. So they figure out how much your worth is by the amount of money that people offer them. Or what other people say, man, bro, you're good, you're passionate about this, you should be charging X amount of money. That's how they put a price on it. The money comes from the hard work. The money comes from the messed up fades, from cutting people with razors, from embarrassing yourself, from being late to work, from losing clients, to regaining your clients, to learning how to do that fade, to perfecting that fade, to perfecting that shear work. It's a process. The money comes with the process, bro. I tell people all the time, when I first started working in a barbershop, bro, my first week there, I cut 10 heads, and I was extremely happy, bro. I was so happy. So happy. I cut 10 heads. The next week, that Saturday, I made $100 on a Saturday. $100 on a Saturday. And the owner was so, he was so happy, he was so money hungry and happy that I was making this money because the shop was slow. He put me on rent the next week. I made $180. He charged me $140 for rent, so I walked out with making $40. I was crushed. I worked 7 days a week, open and close, and I come home with $40. I go home and talking to my dad, and that's when he told me, he's like, you went in for the money. You haven't fallen in love with the passion, with the art. It's a process, Corey. You don't just start off making hundreds of dollars. I said, first thing I thought about when I was a barber was the money that my dad would make. My dad would come home every single day from work, 5 o'clock in the morning. He would go, he'd get home 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, sometimes 12. All his pockets full of money. He got his backpack full of money. He got money in his socks. And him and my mom sitting at the kitchen table counting it. But I forgot that one time when we first moved to Florida, my dad was working at the barbershop. He worked the whole week and only made $20. I forgot hearing my dad crying in the room with my mom about us being broke. How we gonna feed the kids? We only made $20 that week. I forgot about that. That's a process. People have to understand that you want to get that money in this barber thing. It's a process. You have to accept that you're going to go through a lot of stuff to get what you want in life. It's a process. It's nothing that you just step into and make money. You're gonna suck at first, but if you can understand it, if I could just get it in my mind, if I could just fall in love with this art, with this passion, and understand that my walk to being great is going to be extremely hard. A lot of people are going to laugh at me because I want to be a barber. People laughed at me because I want to be a barber. People are going to talk about you. They're gonna say you suck at fading. If you can understand that I have to go through all of this just to get to this, it'll all be worth it. That's when the money comes into it. I've been cutting hair for 8 years, and now I'm starting to see the benefits of it, bro. Now I'm starting to, I'm doing good. You know, people want, I'm humbled. I'm extremely humbled. I'm extremely grateful that God even saw it fit for me to be in the position that I'm in right now. People flying me out to the other side of the country just to hear me speak and to see how I cut hair. But it was all a process, bro. It was all a process. I've contemplated suicide from me feeling like I was a loser for being a barber. People laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to work. I'm cutting. I'm not making no money. I feel like I'm embarrassing my parents because I'm a barber. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving an old beat up 1986 Cutlass Supreme. I got water all in my tank, water all in my trunk because my trunk has rust holes in it. I'm embarrassed. I went through a whole lot of stuff to get here, but I understood that this is what I want. If you can't understand that this is an art and you have to appreciate just in life in general. If you can't understand that you have to go through stuff to get it, you're never going to be no one. You're always going to start something, and as soon as things get hard, you're going to quit. One thing I talk about in my class is you look at a potter. When a potter takes a piece of clay, he molds it into what he wants it to be. When you figure out, when you sit down and you talk to yourself, what am I going to be with my life? Your goal is your piece of clay. You take that piece of clay and you mold it into your goal, into that passion, into that destiny that you want. And once you figured out what you want, once the potter figured out he has the exact shape of that cup, that vase, that plate, that spoon, that fork, whatever it is, what does he do with it? He takes it and he puts it in the furnace. He puts it in the fire. Why does he put it in the fire? Not to burn it, because when he puts it in the fire, it hardens it. It secures it. It secures it over for longevity, and it rids it of all of its imperfections. You can't get from A to Z without getting rid of those imperfections along the way. You have to understand that fire, you being in a struggle, forces you to grow. One thing I talk about all the time is staying true. Definitely staying true to yourself. Because I feel that, for one, being a barber, we're looked at as being artists, and the greater your individuality is, the more likely you're able to stand out. People will appreciate you more for being yourself than trying to look like anybody else, or trying to dress like somebody else, or talk like somebody else, or fade like somebody else. The greatness about our craft, the greatness about being a barber, is that we can be and look any type of way that we want. Any type of way. So what blows my mind is I don't understand why there's so many people that try to look like everybody else. You're in a job where it's cool to look crazy. You're in a job where it's cool to be yourself. You're in a job where it's cool to not care what anybody thinks about you. So why would you limit yourself to looking like the next man? There's only one you. Nobody can be like you. I feel like it would be so dope to just go to a barber battle and everybody in there looks completely different. Everybody. It would be so dope to go on Barbershop Connect or just be on my Instagram scrolling and everybody has their own pose that they take in the picture. You know what I'm saying? Or they have their own slang, or they have their own keynote word or something like that. Just, I think that would be so dope. But it's all a mindset. That's all it is. You had the opportunity to be that one of one, but you choose the one of a million. I don't understand that. I never understood. My parents always taught me to be Corey. Be Corey and speak up when something's wrong. But most importantly, be yourself. You will get a whole lot further in life just being who you are and being true to yourself. So that's the message I just wanted to relay.